Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Failure Frame, Episode 7. Well, after being delayed for a week, and you know what? Maybe I think they did something. Maybe it was I don't know if it'll last though. Maybe until maybe in the next episode though. But I mean, did it really took a week to fix the problem? Because okay. I've been saying, because I'm sure a lot of people were saying about the series, the negative things about is the obvious 3D animation, right? And especially when it comes to the characters, the human characters. When it comes to the action, like with the creatures or 3D animation, yeah, sure though, it's obvious though, but it's more obvious when, especially when it was focused on our main character Tooka, talking with Seras, who's the prince, who's the elf princess knight, right? And sometimes, a lot of times they're talking, especially when they're standing still, and they're talking, they're moving their arms and hands, right? It's obvious 3D animation, right? But when it came to this episode, well, like last episode, it wasn't so bad. Maybe there was like one scene, I remember, it was only that, it showed that though, but other than that though, the episode was not that bad though for episode 6. But episode 7, I don't know if it really took a week to fix the problem, but when it was Tooka and Seras, when they were talking, there was a couple of scenes where you think they're standing still and they're talking, right? Actually, I did not see any of that. I think they fixed the problem. I think they fixed the 3D animation problem when it comes to the characters. Like I said. When they're talking, they're like moving the arms. It's obvious, like still 3D animation, right? But I think they fixed the problem. I think because neither Seras or Tooka were, even when they're standing or wherever, when they're talking, especially in the wide shots, I did not see any of that. So I'm like, wow! So they finally fixed the 3D problem. Except for the big monsters that are 3D, you can't fix that though. It's obvious though, but I'm talking about the characters. But wow, they actually fixed the problem, and I'm like, cool, because I didn't see none of that in this episode. I really didn't. So I think they now when it comes to next week's episode, in episode 8, is it gonna still be like that, or is it still be 3D animation, or they're gonna continue to fix this problem onwards? So. That's a big positive. I think probably production value, I would say this has been the best production value episode I've seen since probably the first one, because the first episode, it wasn't all like that though. It wasn't. So for production wise, this one has been the best one I've seen since the first episode. So, but I really enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed this episode. Yeah, production wise, handling with the 3D animation they did. Gold star, because I didn't see none of that in this episode, so they definitely get a gold star for this. But for the rest of the episode, okay. So they're traveling. They're in this town, and first of all, before that, we get the goddess again, the bitch, talking with her henchmen or lackeys, like more sort of higher up, whatever. And they learn about those dragon warriors in the last episode that Tooka did, right? Especially the one of the humanity's strongest, right? They're speculating who could have killed her. First they say it was Seras, the princess knight. Maybe she could have done it. But they speculate somebody else would have done it though. So they assume that this group of I guess these magic cursors are. There are these guys in these red these red hoodies, kind of look like a cult group, Maybe because they're cursed, like they're cursed people, cursors. So they assume that probably they did it. And while Tooka and Seras are drinking at this place, even the people are speculating that as well. And then all of a sudden they come walking in. They take the credit for it, because, hey, it kind of boosts their reputation, But at the same time, it does divert suspicion away from Tooka, which is a good thing, So. And then with Seras, it's obviously that she's crushing on Tooka because because she says that they only have one room, right? So they're going to have it sharing the same room together, and she's like, oh, one room. And then afterwards, he wants her to teach her some hand-to-hand combat, right? And when she does, because she's close to him, right? Get what I mean? I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, And then she's washing his clothes, and then where she sniffs his clothes, and you say, stand behind her, like, how long you been there, Well, I didn't ask you to wash my clothes. Oh no, I don't mind anyway. I'm used to doing that stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, you're sniffing his clothes, yeah, but well, the thing is, it's not that type of thing is not really as bad as I saw in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, where this one random woman was smelling Aquaman's BO infested sweater. I'm like, man, he had wore this place. He probably smells like fish and other BO on it, but she goes and sniffs that. So that's not as bad as that. It's not as bad as that. Believe me, just like that director it was such a waste of space. I'll get in that some other time. And then afterwards, like, okay. And she's like, when they're back in the room, having a drink, like she's there to because if he forgot to bring Piggy Maru, right? He gives him some of this, like, it almost like a grilled cheese sandwich, and she eats it. She's liking it because she's like, oh, this is from your other world. I like it, She sees the that transporting bag that he carried with him, and he puts this thing. It goes to another thing. It's like a homemade soup, like a instant soup. You just pour water in it, and so she gives him these medicinal herbs, the kind of like help him to fall asleep or relax, right? And obviously she puts something in his drink. As oh wait, I'll take this one. I put too much of this one, so I'll take this one. She says, and we see for a second we see Toka's face. I'm like when he's looking at her. I knew then and there. Okay, if he wasn't so fixed, as he said, like, are you feeling resistant? I'm like, yeah, kind of. I am. But I'm focused on my revenge, though. If he wasn't focusing on, because obviously Seras is crushing on him. I think she deliberately put that stuff in it because, okay, if it wasn't for Tooka his strong, he's so keen on his plan of revenge, I think he would have gotten in bed with her. There's no question in my mind. If it wasn't for his, if he's tunnel vision on his plan on getting revenge, obviously he would have gotten in bed with her. It would obviously would have, and I think that Seras would have wanted that too. And like I know that she wants him to be his sword, his arms, his sword. Now sword and shield, right? But I know that he would have gotten in bed with it if it wasn't for his strong sense of getting revenge, and I think that she wanted that too. I'm like, she was like, "Oh, is there anything else that you want for me to do?" I'm like, "Jeez, you're a good warrior though, but you are still something, like a total flirt, But she still plans still plan on helping him to get his revenge, though. And then they talk where the certain place where these witches are at, right? And there's this leopard, this female anthropomorphic leopard woman, which they go first when they arrive in town, they find this Colosseum, which kind of resembles like the Roman Colosseum, and it's gladiators, because even Tooka mentions it's like in Rome with the gladiators, right? That's basically what it is. It's called the Bloodsport Coliseum instead of Roman Coliseum. It's Bloodsport Coliseum because it looks exactly like the Roman Coliseum. And for this whole time, we see when they're talking, they're standing still. None of that shoddy 3D animation. None of that, which I was very glad to see. I guess taking that 1 week delay of a break, you know, kind of just helped them boost their production, I guess, or make more time to focus on the production, you know, on fixing these, you know, which I'm glad for. They talk with her because they want to know where the witch is at, and she shares something with him, but they speculate that she's lying, and so she's the current she's the next current champion who hasn't lost fights at all, though. But they speculate because she's trying to win money because they say to give back her freedom, but they say she had enough money to win her freedom 2 years ago, but she's doing this to win the freedom, earn money to earn the freedom of this small this dark elf child. Yeah, this child is a dark elf, so she's trying to save money to earn her freedom as well. So, and they speculate they rig the finals for the champion to be at a disadvantage from, because the guy who runs the Coliseum, whenever a new champion comes to the finals, they rig it. So the leopard woman, her name is Eve Speed. So they rig it for her to lose at the finals. So now I guess now that Tooka is going to go into that Coliseum to try to help, maybe. So, but episode 7 was I would say it's been a really great episode, probably much more better than the previous ones, you know, because like I said, production value looks really well, and I'm glad they fixed the 3D animation for the characters. But the thing is, will they continue that in the next episode? That's the thing, though. So, but and this Seras, you know, she wanted him to be in bed with her. Come on, when she slipped, like, oh, I took too much here, you take this one. Obviously, she slipped something in that soup of his. And yes, and I think Tooka was kind of thinking the same thing, like, well, trying to, you know, he was like resisting the stuff, right, that she gave him, right. Like I said, as long as I have my plan of revenge, though, he's resisting it. So, but if it wasn't, though, he would have gotten in bed with her too, you know. I'm like, jeez. And then, of course, the beginning with that bitch goddess, you know. And since those people, he's just saying that since those people could or were can't take out the demon army since they're dead, we have this new group of heroes to take on the demon army. Yeah. And also that Oliver mentioned that Tooka bought this mask called the Lure of the Flies. Cool looking mask, I would say. This mask is called the Lure of the Flies. That's why I think it's going to be a speculator. I think he's going to wear that when he's in the Coliseum, you know, to hide his face. So I assume he's gonna wear that when he gets into the Coliseum. But it is a cool looking mask, gotta say. So because I think this could be a part in that. So because that way no one can identify him, who he is, you know. So, but overall, yeah, episode 7. I'm glad. Hey, the delay was worth the wait, you know, because they fixed the big problem with this series. Even though I said the shoddy animation of the 3D effects doesn't bother me overall, though, but it's way obvious, though. And I'm glad they fixed that, you know. I'm glad. I just hope it gets carried out for the rest of the series. Well, I'll wait till the next episode, see if I can notice it, though. Well, it will be noticeable because it'll be blatantly obvious, so. But yeah, but episode 7, well done. Well done for the production part, though. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time. Later.